Today I'm going to show you how to make a squash book. Opening a squash book, it's a lot like opening a present with a slinky inside. They're really fun to play with. You can use them as sketchbooks, as a card for someone's birthday, or just as a fun little sculptural object. This book is going to end up being 4 inches by 4 inches square. So I'm starting with 2 4-inch pieces of cardboard, and I have a stack of colored papers that are 6 by 6 inches. I put glue on one side of the cardboard, and I chose a fun pattern paper, and this is going to end up being the front of my book. I need to cut the corners off of each side of that colored paper, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each tab and fold it over. Now I'm using cardstock, so it's a little bit tricky to fold it and to hold it long enough for the glue to dry. And as we know, the glue doesn't stick until the glue dries. So a little trick that I like to use is once I get these corners folded over, I'm actually going to sit on it. So I'm pressing it down, doing the best job I can, and then you're going to see it disappear because it's on my chair. I'm going to sit on it until it sticks. It only takes a couple minutes. So this purple sheet is going to be the back cover of the book. Same thing, I glued it down to the paper. I cut the corners off to make some tabs. I'm going to glue those tabs down, and I'm going to sit on this one also. You could put it under a stack of books if you happen to have one handy. You're going to need at least 3 pages for the inside of your book to get that squash effect. So I'm starting with this blue page right here. I fold it in half. I'm going to crease the edge, open it up, fold it in half in the other direction, and you'll see that I have 4 smaller squares on my sheet of paper. The next fold that I'm going to need to do is a diagonal fold, but I'm going to open it up first, make sure it sort of folds up towards the ceiling, and then flip it over and make the diagonal fold on the back side. And then when I pick it up, you're going to notice it just the way it wants to fold. It wants to kind of do that squash fold for me. I'm going to do the same thing for the second sheet, fold it in half, open it up, fold it in half in the other direction, crease those edges, and then flip it over to do the diagonal fold going backwards. And then you pop it inside out and give it that little squash, and you'll see that it bounces in and out. When you glue them together, you're going to glue one facing upwards, one facing downwards, the next one facing upwards, and just keep alternating them until you have all your pages glued together. So now I'm on my 3rd page, just so I can put the book together for you. I fold it in half in both directions, I flipped it over, I folded it backwards to get that diagonal fold, and squashed that page down again. So now it's time to glue the pages together. I'm using the tiniest bit of glue that I can to make them stick. It might even be better if you have a glue stick handy to use a glue stick instead of the liquid glue. So you'll notice that I only put glue in one corner of that page. I'm going to stick it together and then just double check that those squash folds are still working. And so they're looking good. I'm going to grab the other corner of that purple page and glue the blue page down to it, and then I will check again and make sure that that squash fold is still working. So there it is, squashing in and out very nicely, and it's going to be time to add the cover. I'm going to start with the back cover first because that's where I want to put the ribbon. So just in the center, I'm going to add some glue and then lay a piece of ribbon all the way across and just glue one of those pages right down on top of it. Press it for a second, make sure it sticks, and then we can add glue to that top page. Notice the glue doesn't go all the way to the edge because if it sticks out over the edge, it might glue some of those pages back together, and I want to make sure it's going to open when I'm done. So I'm going to put the lid on. I'm not quite ready to tie it. I just need to let it dry for a minute first, but I'm going to check and make sure the pages aren't sticking together, and there it goes. It works. Yay! And just for fun, I'm going to add a little bit of collage to the cover of my book using some of those leftover scraps, and then I'll be ready to tie it up, maybe do some drawings inside or write a note and give it to somebody as a gift. I haven't really decided yet. So now it's your turn. Make sure that you remember that you want to make the cover first because you need to give them a chance to dry before you can glue the pages on the inside. Now go make something beautiful.